to the show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. But first of all, San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond is making waves because he's openly criticizing the sanctuary status of his own city, arguing that the sanctuary policies jeopardize the safety of local communities. You cannot make this stuff up.
What I heard from the incoming head of ICE is that we have the same desire to go after those who are committing violent acts, repeated violent acts among innocent New Yorkers and among migrants and asylum seekers.
We promise to put our two staffs together and work out the details, but as of yesterday, he's all in.
Incoming Board Czar Tom Homan and New York City Mayor Eric Adams say they have the same goals. Following their meeting this week on the migrant crisis, this as many Democratic-run cities and states are looking to further protect migrants against deportations, a move San Diego County and California made this week. For more on that, let's bring in the man in the middle of that fight, the lone San Diego County Supervisor to vote no on furthering sanctuary city policies, Jim Desmond. Jim, when you messaged me much earlier this week that this was going to take place, I was in disbelief because what it appears has happened is that not you, because the vote was 3-1, but the other San Diego County supervisors voted to protect the illegal criminal migrants from deportation. Is that the case? Are they placing a priority on the interests of criminal migrants over public safety?
Well, what they're doing is they're putting in another bureaucratic layer hindering local law enforcement from being able to engage directly with ICE and let ICE know, hey, we've got this this person in our jail that has committed a crime. They've been tried. They're here in jail. They're here illegally. And right now, or we have had, in the past, before this passed, we had direct access to ICE. We could pick up the phone, give them a call, let them know, hey, this person's in our custody or this person's about to be let out of jail. And so what my colleagues did is they put in another layer of bureaucracy that hinders law enforcement from directly working with ICE by making now the requirement is going to be that we get a federal or state warrant to be able to contact ICE. Before, instead, we had that direct access. Now we have to go through some judge who knows which way this judge is leaning. We need to clean up our streets. We need to keep our community safe. And by this action, it makes us less safe and the bigger potential of these people just being let out onto our streets in San Diego County and making them less safe.
Jim, why would your colleagues do that?
I don't know. You got to ask them. They was just, the reason some of the people that were, for this effort, they were saying, well, you're breaking up families, and people will be less likely to report crimes. This is about people that are already in jail. This in San Diego County, they're already in jail, and they've already been tried and committed, for these crimes. This has got nothing to do with breaking up families. The criminal should have thought about that. They're the ones breaking up families. So, instead of, blaming the criminal for the acts they're doing, they're pointing the finger elsewhere. And it just really, these people, if they do get out of jail and they go back into the communities, it's going to most likely be in the immigrant communities, and they're going to hurt them the most.
Yeah, that's the demographic that faces the greatest threat. I want to play just a little bit more of New York City Mayor Eric Adams after his meeting with Tom Homan, because he seems to get something that your fellow supervisors don't. Listen here.
We're going to protect the rights of immigrants in the city that are hardworking, giving back to the city in a real way. We're not going to be a safe haven for those who commit repeated violent crimes against innocent migrants, immigrants, and longstanding New Yorkers.
So there's an element of common sense to that statement there from Mayor Adams, who, of course, has to protect the rights of all of the people that he is in charge of governing. But why doesn't San Diego County understand that line?
Well, the East Coast is getting it, but the West Coast is much slower coming along. Even in the election, the rest of the country got it that, people are fed up with the way the immigration status has been happening with the open borders. Unfortunately, my colleagues, I think this is more in retaliation. And our governor, even Newsom, wants to Trump-proof California. And so my colleagues, all three of them Democrats that voted for this, are, I think, going along in that same effort. And we're the doormat for the border here in San Diego County. We've had over 155,000 people just dropped into our streets. We have boats pulling up onto our beaches and dozens of people just jumping out and running into our neighborhoods. We should be making our streets safer, not less safe.
I know it and have seen it up close and personal, particularly in places like Jacumba, where you're getting people from all over the globe, from more than 100 different countries. Let me just ask you lastly, because I think this is important, Jim. Where is San Diego County's sheriff on this? What is she saying?
Well, the sheriff, thankfully, has said she's not going to enforce this new policy that was put forward by my colleagues. However, there's already a group out there that has threatened to sue and see how this plays out. My supervisors could my colleagues could retaliate with taking or withdrawing funds or money from the sheriff. So this still has to be played out. I'm glad the sheriff has stepped up and said no, but legal action and other actions are yet to come.
Well, we will continue to follow it. And Jim, please give us any updates as it unfolds.
Okay, guys. Hey, welcome back to the show, guys. Excited about today's show. We're talking about a lot of things. I've got another clip I want to show y'all from Forbes that's going to blow your mind here in a minute. But first of all, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It helps out the YouTube algorithm. And again, I want to welcome everyone. Big shout out to Deanne Scott for tuning in. Appreciate you, and I know you're always here, so appreciate the support. Anyway, guys, let's talk about sanctuary cities for just a second, because here's the big issue that I have with sanctuary cities, and it's a public safety issue. Because here's what our government taxes ought to pay for. Okay, when it comes to the government, what is the primary responsibility of the government? Primary responsibility of the government. It's not rocket science, guys. The primary responsibility of the United States government is public safety. It's to protect the people that are paying the government taxes. That's why we do it. We pay the government taxes for public safety. Public safety against foreign threats. Public safety, a safety against internal threats. Criminals. People on the streets. We're talking about. That is the main issue with sanctuary cities, because it poses a public safety risk. They prevent law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration authorities, and this allows dangerous individuals to remain in communities. Guys, it's common sense policies, and that's what we've got to have. San Diego is turning into like the worst kind of city. Why? Because criminals are able to run rampant throughout the city, and federal immigration authorities can't do anything about it because of idiotic policies that prevent them from doing this. So we've got Desmond here that in his stance highlights the priority of protecting law-abiding citizens over political agendas. So it's absolutely crazy to me. But anyway, all right, I want to show you all this clip from Forbes, guys, because John Kennedy clashes with a Major General Randy Manner, and this interaction, and they're going at it on immigration. This is actually kind of insane. This clip was actually on Tuesday, but I just found it, and I thought, guys, y'all have got to see this. It hasn't been posted all over the internet yet. So check it out.
Yes, you believe in open borders, don't you?
I believe in the rule of law, sir.
Right. And it makes you angry that President Trump does not believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Senator, I'm not here to discuss immigration policy. I'm here to discuss whether or not we use the military to enforce it.
And it makes you angry that most Americans don't believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Not in the slightest, sir. Again, I am not here to discuss immigration policy.
Yeah. Duty, honor, respect, you talked about that
Yes,
in
Senator.
your opening statement. On October 14th of this year, you went on CNN. I want to read you what you said, make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader. I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. To Bob Woodward, if he, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, is calling the president a fascist, I'm so proud of him for breaking that barrier. The challenge is because most MAGA Republicans, they don't understand what fascism is. The reality is that they are, in fact, fascists themselves. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I am happy to discuss my personal perspectives with you separately at any time. That's not the purpose of the hearing today.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You think you're smarter than the American people, don't you?
Absolutely not, Senator. I am here to discuss the use of the military as part of this mass deportation.
You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you, General?
Senator, I am insulted by your comment.
Duty, honor, and respect. You talked about that in your opening statement, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Moran said, I wrote down her words. She said, by their actions, you know what someone's character is like. You agree with that?
Senator, for 35 years, I served my country with absolute honor and distinction, and I will continue to do so.
You agree with what Ms. Moran said?
Of course.
Mrs.
Guys, is that not insane? Like, this is a major general, and he made those comments about you and me. Absolutely crazy. Yes, Deanne, that's as bad as Biden calling us garbage. I just appreciate that we have people like Kennedy that in our government is holding these people accountable for the statements that they're making. My goodness. But here's another issue with sanctuary cities. It's not just public safety, guys. It's local resources. Sanctuary policies strain local resources, including law enforcement, healthcare, social services. It takes the funds that are supposed to go to legal residents and it gives it to those that came here illegally. So the local resources that you paid for with your taxes is being diverted to people who did not in any way pay or contribute to this country. They just walked in illegally. So taxpayers are bearing the cost of policies that prioritize non-citizens over community safety. And guys, that's it. Again, this is not rocket science. And what I love about this channel is that we're building a community here of common sense people that believe in the fundamentals of our country. You know, we prioritize faith. We prioritize standards. We prioritize, you know, just goodness. The goodness of humanity, right? And it's not rocket scientists. You don't need brilliant minds to understand that when you create these sanctuary policies, it's going to hurt the people that live in that city legally. Sanctuary policies undermine the rule of law. It creates a system where selective enforcement breeds further disregard for legal processes. Upholding immigration laws is essential, guys, for maintaining order and fairness in society. Anyway, all right, I digress. Last thing I want to show you is ABC News. They just reached a settlement with Donald Trump. Paid him $15 million. Let me show you this quick clip from Fox News, giving you this breaking news alert. And guys, just a sound warning because this clip starts out pretty loud. All right, check it out.
We have breaking news. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos have reached a settlement with President-elect Trump in his defamation lawsuit. The network agrees to pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to Trump's presidential library. ABC and Stephanopoulos will also issue statements of regret as an editor's note to the March 2024 article and television segment that prompted Trump to file the lawsuit earlier this year. Trump sued Stephanopoulos after he asserted in an interview that Trump was found, quote, liable for rape in a civil case, despite the fact that a jury actually determined Trump was liable for, quote, sexual abuse, which has a distinct definition under New York law.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm April.
Okay, all right. So there you go, guys. ABC News. Isn't that amazing, actually, that ABC News, dude, another huge win for Donald Trump. I mean, just what, 2 days ago, he's named Times Person of the Year. Now, we're seeing from this clip that he wins this, or they reached a settlement with ABC News over the defamation, where ABC News made all these false claims about Donald Trump, and now they're paying out of their pocket $15 million. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that awesome? So, good stuff. Yes, and Scott, that's right. Good. I know, isn't that hilarious? Like, man, time to eat some crow, ABC. Wow. But you know what? That's what happens when mainstream media just falls off the wagon and loses their minds to all these crazy liberal policies and liberal ideals. Well, this is where we're at, guys. Now they're having to come back, and the law is starting to bite them. They say Donald Trump can't say anything, or can't say just anything. Well, guess what? You can't say just anything either. So it's all coming back around, guys. Anyway, this is the other thing, guys, because just a final comment on the sanctuary cities. Sanctuary policies, guys, are often driven by political posturing. We have to understand that. It's not the realities of community needs or safety that drives these policies, but it's political posturing. And we have to see that there's a secondary reason. There's an ulterior motive here. Desmond's comments at the beginning of this video brought necessary attention to the real-world consequences of these policies on neighborhoods. And we just have to see that. But anyway, hey, guys, I know it's a little bit of a short stream today, but it's the weekend, so I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your day. I know Joel's about to go live over at True Life, so go check out that stream. I'll be over there myself. So anyway, all right, guys, I appreciate everyone's support. Again, share the word, guys, that we are live every day, 5 p.m. right here, 5 p.m. Central, right here on the channel. All right, guys.